This review of Sonic 2 Special Edition may contain spoilers and coarse language. If neither of those bother you, then have fun watching and enjoying this review.
Super Sonic Dance Attack.
One of the most exciting things to ponder is the mystery of unreleased games. What were they like, and how did they generate such crazy things? Case in point being Sonic 2 Special Edition, an unreleased Sonic game that was planned for a '95 release on the Sega CD32X, but was canned before they knew it. Around 12-ish years ago, the CD image was leaked to the public, and many were excited to see what mysteries it had. Despite not being a finished game, it's a pleasure to see what's involved with this game, and it's still technically beatable. Well, we'll have to talk about it, right? Was it amazing? Was it crap? Let's find out, starting with the story. Much like the original Sonic 2, Sonic 2 Special Edition has the same overarching plot, stop Dr. Robotnik. But due to this being the Special Edition, there's a variety of cutscenes that were added in, such as going to Casino Night and other interesting things like mid-level cutscenes to show off dramatic events. There's even one amazing part where Sonic and Knuckles both have to play through Hidden Palace and Wing Fortress at the same time, with it strung together oh so orchestrally. However, some cutscenes do not flow very well and interrupt the flow of gameplay pretty frequently, and it can be very, very annoying when it happens. Gameplay remains almost entirely the same as Sonic 2. You can play as Sonic, Tails, or Sonic and Tails together. As you make progress, you're able to unlock even more Sonic characters to play as, like Knuckles, Amy, Uncle Chuck, Bark and Bean, Spider-Man, and Mikhail Gorbachev, just to name a few. Much like most Sonic games, you can jump by hitting any button, and jumping and rolling while hitting down on the ground can kill enemies. You can also hold down while stationary and hit jump to do a spin dash to do very quick movements. You collect rings as your health bar, but one poke and they're gone in a flash. Getting 100 rewards you an extra life, and so on. There's a variety of power-ups including invincibility, speed shoes to go faster, extra rings, and a shield for extra protection. All of these flow very well in the game. Of course, depending on your character, there's also unique traits for every single one that you play as. Sonic is the fastest character by default, Tails is able to fly, and Knuckles is just oddly overpowered. For some reason, he has a jump that's so high. Like, it's incredible, he can just scale over half of the levels and stuff. You can thankfully turn it off with a few Game Genie codes, but it shows that this game is not done. But the ideal thing, of course, is the momentum physics. Sonic games almost always have a unique platforming motif where Sonic gains speed running downhill, and this is no exception. Behaving much like he does in the classic Sonic games, Sonic is able to accelerate very quickly and travel up slopes. This is the driving force that makes you want to complete levels faster and learn them the more you play the game. And with how many characters you unlock, there's a lot to find hiding in this game. The level design mostly remains the same as the original Sonic 2, which was thinner but more laser-focused, leading to some nice, fast-paced level design. There are some issues with consistency, however. As something used to split up the game's pace, there are added sections of beat-em-ups and shooters in all kinds of weird genres. The issue with these changes is that they don't really make the game any better, and they don't make the difficulty scale well. Stuff like this is what made the belief-based engine start to adjust and change things, but it didn't help when the obvious pace breakers were there for no reason. Of that, the one unique thing for sure accounted for were the bosses. The boss fights in this game have been mostly modified, and they have some extremely great motifs. Casino Night added this great breakdancing game against Robotnik, and Mystic Cave proposed a philosophical question from the level's final boss, a very unique twist compared to most Sonic games. However, these parts can be difficult if you're unfamiliar with the genres, because their difficulty is actually up there in terms of what's normal for them. Unfortunately, some of the ways to get to them are odd, as the Mystic Cave boss is in the special stage. When you try to fight the boss in the original location, the game just says, "Turn around, fuckhead." Quite a bit rude, I must say, but hey, I don't understand that change in the first place. One thing of criticism is the belief-based engine that's being used to power the game. They didn't reuse the source code from Sonic 2 or 3 to make this game, as it's powered by the user's own mood. If you start to wane in support of the game, it will stop you and make you chant back for support just to have fun. While I understand having fun with the game that you designed, being forced to enjoy it is, quite scary. But it's luckily not too harmful, as the game warns you a few times by putting some really wacky stuff in the background before you would get to that point. I was at that point with Oil Ocean. Apparently it's more common to see it in Mystic Cave, but once I stopped and also chanted, I was able to play the game normally. One of the things this engine does is show off the things that you enjoy, along with topical things like 80s music videos to keep you uplifted. So I was getting a lot of really old anime, and I was also getting some oddly freaky clips too. It even showed me a future where my game Necrolepsy does very well and everyone that watches this bought it. How nice is that? But an example of some backgrounds, the background for Chemical Plant was just straight up an episode of Mad Bull 34. You can set the anime to be subbed, but due to it being in the background, you can't see the subtitles, so I had to keep the dub. Mad Bull 34 has a very, very powerful dub anyway. The one thing is for sure interesting about this game is that the Sega CD is able to blend these videos in almost seamlessly. It's probably the 32X enhancing it. You can also collect the 7 Chaos Emeralds through bonus stages that you can find at any checkpoint by getting 50 rings and jumping into the hoop. This is another one of those genre shift moments as it plops you right into a fighting game. For some strange reason, a lot of the worst characters to be in special stages with are the beginning ones like Sonic and Tails. However, once you unlock more characters like Draco here, it starts to become a lot easier and easier for you to get the Chaos Emeralds. Unfortunately, this being another genre shift though, doesn't make it very appealing to newcomers. The graphics are not much more advanced than the Genesis original. While that's fine, I can't help but feel that the game could have benefited from the more advanced hardware. Regardless of that, the cutscenes are fantastic. Most of them are video, and the quality is spectacular. I'm not sure how the belief-based engine was able to create cutscenes using Sonic Battle sprites as they came after this game, but it's incredible to see them. I wonder what the game was like before Sonic Battle with the cutscenes. Or maybe Sonic Battle used them from this game. Quite a big mystery. We don't really know still. There's no voice acting in this game, as all the text is presented in either Chinese, Japanese, or English. This is in Chinese above, and it's easy to read. The audio is great. Honestly, it's one of the highlights of the game for me. With the belief-based engine, it's really hard to point if it would be for you, but a variety of set music is in place with 90s album songs like Supersonic Dance Attack, They Call Me Sonic, and a lot of songs from the Virtual Sonic album. But the sound effects are much the same as they are in the original game, so while not much has changed there, they still managed to make the Sega CD 32X take advantage of the extra sound channels and keep the original sound effects. So that means we're talking about changes. What are a few things I'd like to see changed about Sonic 2 Special Edition if I was made in charge of this game? Well, for starters, the one thing I'd like to do is get rid of the standards for the Mystic Cave boss. It makes no sense to jump into another special ring, and punishing you for going to where it was in the original is just stupid. Another thing I'd like to change is to make it so that the belief-based engine doesn't need to be chanted back. It's a pace breaker, but it really does outline how good the engine really is. I mean, yeah, it does show you some fun things, but the problem is if the stage itself is the issue, maybe change a few of the power-ups to make it so that you're more encouraged. Among that, if there needs to be enchanting, the game should instead show you a brand new level that's completely different. Something to really help mix it up and keep you looking forward to what to expect in the game. With added to that, genre shifts do not help. Even though sure, it's unique, being unique doesn't automatically mean good. Because of that, I'd like to see Hilltop back as it was in Sonic 2. The special stages being fighting games is also very weird. I love both of these genres, but they just don't belong here. Having them back from what they were in Sonic 2 would just be fine. However, I would also add some remixing to some of the level design just to make it more interesting. Regarding the graphics, it's painful to see that while the video quality is excellent, it's embarrassing how similar they are. I'd add a few more frames of animation just to flex Sonic 2's gorgeous animation keyframes, along with some extra little shading for the sprites to make them stand out more. And finally, the best and most important thing is I really wish this game was finished and released. There's this really freaky glitch where if you complete either Act 1 or Act 2 of Hilltop, the game just ends. I have no idea how to get past that. You have to do a level select code to get to Mystic Cave. It's very odd. That's actually one of the reasons why the belief-based engine starts to go down at Mystic Cave, because you play Hilltop before and it crashes. So I'd rather that be fixed and fix up the game and actually have it go out there, but we'll see what Sega really wants to do with it. Yeah, so I gotta admit, while Sonic 2 Special Edition has some downsides, it's an extremely interesting and fun game. The issue is getting it. While you can get an ISO rip of it or CD image, BinQ, whatever, just fine, you do need to run it on original hardware. You also need an uncle that worked at Nintendo to give you some more info. So you're better off looking up Sonic 2 Special Edition and finding it on sites like YouTube or archive.org, because not many people get to play this. If you did think this game was completely normal and wonderful, you should see my game too, Necrolepsy. It's an action platformer that has momentum physics that's used to juggle enemies, and it even has a demo. So that's how it is, and if you ever get lucky enough, I would highly recommend playing Sonic 2 Special Edition. But maybe Sega will finally wisen up and finally fix this game. Or not. I don't know. Look at me, I'm a gun.